I am a communication major minoring in film and media. This new honors project we're going to be going over is now going to be centered around one concept, which is called social penetration theory. So, to read a definition so you're all up to pace, social penetration theory is how relationships grow deeper through self-disclosure. To explore this, again, I interviewed my 5 bestest of friends and asked them questions centered around this concept and to see what some possible insights and experiences they have with this. So, again, before we go, I will give you a quick rundown of what social penetration theory is through the definition as well as other concepts that do relate to it, and then we'll get into the interviews. Social penetration theory was developed by Erwin Altman and Thomas Taylor. Social penetration theory explains how relationships develop over time, starting from surface level talks to moving towards emotional closeness. This is often called the onion theory because a lot of people have layers. The outer layers are small talk and basic information like names or hobbies and that sort. And the deeper layers you go are much more personal information, such as thoughts, memories, reflections, emotions. The process that makes it happen is through self-disclosure, as we mentioned in the previous video. It's sharing personal information to build trust and intimacy. Through the theory also outlines 4 primary stages of relationship growth, from polite small talk to complete openness and trust. Throughout the interview, again, I will explain each stage a bit more as we explore through self-disclosure in our real lives. Right now, entire semester.
Yeah. And that was kind of like, we're just kind of no cursing, right?
I'll bleep it.
Okay, because I was gonna say, like, to be honest, just the entire like feel of archery and just just the people that we had, our little group, we're just kind of shooting.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's pretty. That feels like a pretty like normal way to start things, you know?
Okay. So in terms of like first meeting you, like when you were just doing camera work for the theater stuff, didn't really spend a whole lot of time with you. I would say mostly just very, very surface level sort of information. I didn't know you super well, so I didn't kind of indulge in conversations about like even just like kind of like basic likes and dislikes. It was more so just kind of like casually seeing you there, and maybe we got along because we'd be like laughing at some external thing that was going on around us. So I'd say when we like initially met, it was like that. Once I started spending a little more time with you within that kind of group, I definitely became more comfortable sharing those like interests and likes and like personal stories and stuff of like things that have happened in my life. Like if something happened to me over the weekend, like I would say stuff like that. And then over time, I noticed that you started being more open with your emotions. And when I see stuff like that, it automatically makes me feel like, oh my God, okay, I feel safe to do the same. So now we're in a very different spot where I feel like I can be really open about my thoughts and emotions because I know that you're the same way.
We were technically co-workers, I guess you could say.
At that first show.
Yeah, we did
theater.
Broadway Cabaret.
Yes.
He was the videographer and I was doing tech for the show. I was the stage manager. So when our first meeting was very like formal.
Yeah.
Because we both thought we were just gonna be working together.
Like a one-time thing.
Yeah. So we're obviously very friendly because like you don't want to be cold to the people you have to work with for the next
I
2
hope
weeks.
not. Yeah.
So the first time we like kind of shown like flashes of friendship was when we were like on break in the hallway.
Oh, when we're having lunch.
Yeah, in that group.
And I gave you my GoPro to just mess around with. Yeah.
So I feel like early on I would say like in terms of like how comfortable I was with like sharing things with you, it was very like I'd say business, casual, professional.
Yeah.
Like I would have been like very like of course I would have tried to be your friend because like you never want to ice people out for no reason. You always want human connection. But I would say like after that conversation, maybe it was like more familiar. Like if I saw you on campus, I would like I would say hello or So I guess to answer more in depth of your question, I feel like personal information is very subjective. You know, you can have someone who's like who's scared of sharing their birthday, for example, because they want their privacy. So it definitely varies from person to person. I would definitely describe myself as a more private person.
Okay.
But I feel like I was definitely comfortable with sharing personal information, not like crazy stuff.
Well,
that's
yeah,
been going
yeah.
on,
In
but,
your
like,
definition of what that.
yeah, of course. Like I would tell you my favorite food by then, you know.
Yeah.
Like after our first hangout, I would definitely tell you like my favorite color, like what I like to wear, what music I like to listen to, you know. Because that's how you get to know people, you know. Very surface level conversations. You kind of want to air out surface level connections. You want to like find stuff that you relate to the other person. So I would definitely say that the more you're trying to know someone, the more you're willing to air out.
Those particular topics to get into the deepening questions, right?
Because that's how you kind of get to know someone, especially if you air out the very personal stuff at the beginning, especially during the experimental.
Yeah.
That's kind of when you give people, like, for lack of better words, the ick.
Yeah.
Like that's where stuff like trauma dumping.
Like specifically, especially like last year, I was more closed off towards men than I am this year. So like literally it was just my name. And like surface level stuff about like my major and me as a student. You can kiss me.
You're in a particular.
Oh yeah. I was doing a lot more than I feel like I was capable of doing. I was overloading myself with a lot of like work and people and stuff. Coping mechanisms, as my therapist says. So I just didn't really care, you know.
Oh really?
Yeah.
First one?
Yeah.
So how has that changed over time? Yeah, I mean, as I said, I'm more chill around guys now, cause like it's not that I'm more used to them, but like I know how to like better like distance myself from them if they're being weird, right? So now I can trust myself to trust in men more, if you know what I'm saying. So now, and also I've seen that you're an actually good person now, instead of just like a random person. So I feel like I share a lot of stuff with you, you know. I don't really care. I treat you like anyone else now, like one of the girls, I guess.
I feel like for me, it's changed in the sense where I can go from like pleasantries and like not flirting, but like flirting, because men are easy, to like telling you about who I am as a person, right? Rather than like, you know. I don't know how else to describe that, but I feel like I can
Great
be.
description, honestly.
No, I feel like I can be like myself.
So from all these clips, this always goes back into the first primary stage, which is called orientation stage, where a relationship starts with a very light and polite conversation and kind of breaking the ice. So people share simple facts like, what do we do? Where are you from? It's like a tutorial level for most relationships starting out. Just trying to see who's what they do, basic dialogue options that you're gonna go through when meeting new people.
I would say that to a degree, it definitely does like affect just how close we feel. Like for example, just sharing things that we might have a connection over, right?
Yeah.
Like we were talking about earlier. Like I pulled up with the Fallout shirt.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, and then we just have a full-on conversation about Fallout. You know,
Yeah.
it's like these are the kinds of things that we just share. Just in passing, and we get to know a little bit more about each other. Sure, we know that we both play games and stuff like that, but kinds of games, and especially about like how we feel about certain things about in the game.
Yeah. I think
I mean, for like just thinking of it like that way, then from your perspective, to me it was just kind of like, at least now that you told me about it,
yeah.
it's like, bro, I'm always thinking about you. I'm always thinking about people, right? And it's like, to me, it is a bit like, it's not that I'm not thinking about you and stuff like that, just because I haven't talked to you in a bit or haven't reached out, It's like, because I want to talk to you. I want to share more time, this kinds of things. But like you said, it's kind of hard. Not a lot of time to do these kinds of things.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because again, I feel like, you can be friends with someone or at the very least acquaintances, when you do just kind of have very general sort of interests. But I feel like what kind of defines our friendship is that we can be open in a very mutual way. Like, it doesn't seem like one of us is like sharing way too much, or one of us is like way too closed off to where it feels more one-sided. So I think like being able to have that space and like understand each other in that way definitely makes us connect much more than like how we did last semester, where like we got along with stuff but we didn't like know each other as much, you know.
I mean, absolutely. Like, I would say being friends is about knowing the other person, knowing what they like, and knowing how they are. You know, you don't want to hit you want to be engaging with them in a way that makes them comfortable.
Yeah.
So if you definitely share something that makes you uncomfortable, I think that's a step closer. One thing that you don't want to scare off people by like shoving too much information at them at once. I think that's what we were talking about in the last topic as well.
Yeah.
But I guess to go more in depth with the question, like, yeah, of course, because personal information is also, it's like a friendship, or, you know, they go hand in hand with personal information. So the more you give, the more you receive, I think. So I think it definitely doesn't work if one person is sharing all the information.
Yeah.
You kind of have to feed off of each other's.
Information.
Yeah, and it's not only about you receiving information, but the person being allowed to give it, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a weight off their shoulders. And we said this one time, but if you're measuring what you get versus what you give in a relationship, then
I think that's a pretty big sign.
Relationship isn't any type, platonic, romantic, is an equal playing ground. You know, you have to be equals. One person can't do all the work.
Yes.
So no matter what, you have to. So I say you become better friends by gauging how much information they're sharing. And if they let you share the same amount of information, then I think that's the start of a nice friendship. So I think if you could find someone to kind of bounce ideas off of each other and slowly and equally, most importantly, progress your relationship through personal information, I think, yeah, absolutely, you can get closer as friends.
I do 100% believe that the more you share with someone, the closer you are, right? Like, if you feel as though you can't share something with someone, they're not like a really the highest tier of friendship, right? Because if they're like your best friend, then you can literally tell them anything and then they won't judge you for it or anything like that. So I believe that is true.
You did this, so I was like, what's your response on that?
Stop. I agree. For the same reasons. I don't really have anything to add.
Then why'd you go like this?
Because you were thinking,
Oh.
and you were like, because you went like that. I was
Oh.
like, yeah.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
But, no, I agree. I feel like
Wait.
I'm not very trusting of people in general, because everyone sucks. But, I mean, I like you guys. You guys are pretty cool.
That was a pretty good response, which will segue into our next stage, which is the exploratory affective exchange stage, which is the next layer of the onion. As comfort grows, people begin to open up about their opinions, interests, and personal experience. It's the middle ground between surface level talk and genuine connections, assessing what feels safe to share.
Like, at least, like, from a general standpoint, I always feel like it can be risky to just, like, overshare sometimes, because I know that I am prone to oversharing, and I have, like, kind of ended up pushing people away just on some of the stuff that I've shared. And that gets kind of scary, I guess.
Because now you have to balance, like, okay, can I share this with this one person, or can I not?
Yeah, and it's really, like, just like a mind game. It's like, it's not one that I want to play. And so at this point, I just throw everything out that I can.
Yeah.
That I feel comfortable sharing.
Yeah.
And just keep whatever I keep from basically everyone, because everybody has things that they kind of need to hold on to.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, no, is there any more?
I don't know. For me, I mean, like it kind of does and it kind of doesn't. Just because like I'm very big, I have a hard time like letting go of people sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like if I do say something and it kind of like gets a little weird, rather than just being like, oh, okay, maybe I can't like talk about that kind of stuff with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll do that, you know, like, okay, these kinds of topics I can't talk around with that person,
Okay, yeah.
right? But like, it's also just kind of like if I can't be as like laid back to that extent, you know, it does get kind of like stiff. in a
Yeah,
way.
because it's like new territory with you and the person, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, I try my best not to be like judgmental of like the things that people tell me.
Yeah.
I'm very open. Like, you could tell me most things, and as long as it's not like something just no, I don't know. As long as it's not like, oh, no, actually, you know what? You know, no, most things that you would tell me is just like, oh, all right, yeah. I mean, you want to talk about it? It's like,
So you go with it?
yeah, because like I feel like it's wrong to, you know, right off the rib, just kind of like judge it, you know?
Yeah.
Because some people have reasons behind the things they do, explanations, and you know, maybe that's not them anymore if they did something pretty terrible in the past, right?
Yeah.
You know, because people can't change.
That's true.
With me personally, sharing personal things about myself almost never makes me feel very vulnerable. I feel usually very confident, kind of just sharing things about myself because I guess I really haven't had that many consequences with being open and then having it come back to bite me. So when I say stuff, I kind of just like throw it out into the ether, and it's like, well, that's what happens. It's up to whatever's out here now to process that. So definitely, I mean, we've kind of like talked about stuff before, but I would definitely say that library conversation where I kind of found out that we were very on similar journeys when it came to like school and things like that, and like being in community college for more years than expected. And so stuff like that, like it wasn't just like, oh, like I hear you and I understand you. It's like, no, I understand you, you know? And it felt very good to hear that. And just because like I don't really have anyone else in my life really that has had that same experience where, you know, it just took a long time to get stuff done because most of my, you know, friends and colleagues are either younger than me where they're at the spot I am, or they're like long since graduated, or like in, you know, doing a master's and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, like, man, this is taking me so long to even just get like an associate's degree because I just didn't know what to do. And that's always kind of bugged me and made me feel insecure because it made me always feel like behind. But getting to hear something like that from you was very comforting and made me really understand you a lot more. And having that mutual sort of experience made me feel a lot more connected to you.
Really happy about. That's the whole point.
Yeah. I think that particular story you shared, I feel like it's one thing to kind of like be there for someone and be empathetic, but I'm very grateful that you shared your experience because it's like I said, it's something that I didn't get to hear from other people because, you know, like, you know, I could tell like my partner or I could tell, you know, like one of my friends the same experience, but they didn't live it like I've lived it. So, you know, you can get empathy from people and it does help sometimes, but being able to see someone have a similar experience to what you're going through, like it holds a lot more weight.
And I think that worked to her benefit because I'm not the type of person to ignore someone like that, even if I find them annoying, which I don't. She's very pleasant.
No, she's a wonderful person. Like,
But even if I don't really want to engage in conversation with a person who wants to engage in conversation, I'll still give them the time of day.
yeah.
You know, maybe I'll dismiss them after like some time and be like, well, I gotta get back to my work, but it was nice talking to you.
Yeah.
you know. So I don't want to ever put someone in a position where they should feel vulnerable and not comfortable. It's okay to feel vulnerable, but it's not okay not to feel comfortable.
Yeah, I think that's the basis. That's the feel.
Yeah, you should always, even if you don't know the person, you should always make them feel like it's a safe space.
It's okay. Yeah.
And I feel like that's a big part of like chivalry in general. It's like being able to having this camaraderie with strangers. You're being able to help someone in need, even if you don't know what the situation is.
Yeah.
Like, if I didn't know that guy, for example, and she was venting to me about a guy who's so annoying, I would still give her the time of day. It's like, I don't know him,
But also listen.
but
what
I'll
you have
still
to say.
listen what he has to say.
Yeah.
Am I gonna make a judgment on that guy based on what he said? Depends on what he said.
Yeah.
But no matter what, there's always two sides to a story. And there's always a vulnerability and a sense of comfortability you have to feel when sharing, especially with newer people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that answered it.
Weird kind of just like niche topics sometimes where we're just talking about something, and like recently she went like on a huge tangent about her work because she loves her work.
Yeah.
So she went on a huge, was it 1 hour or like an hour and a half tangent about the different classes that they teach in her job, because she teaches like swimming, and she went over all the levels and everything.
Colors. And
Yeah.
strange names for each one of them.
Yeah, so like I feel like for other people it may seem like really like dumb and like mundane and they don't want to know about it, but then I feel like between us it's just like we like hearing about it, because like we just like hearing about your day or like what's been going on, and I feel like that kind of brings us closer, because it's not just that we want to know something interesting every single time, even if you don't have much going on in your life. We just like that you're here and talking.
I'm getting emotional. Oh my god. Remember the other day you came to the tutoring center all sad, and I was like, how was your day, dude? And you were like, dude, I just need to hear you talk. And I was like, oh my god, dude, I'm so happy. Yeah.
You're next.
Well, did I give you enough time to think?
Yes. I feel like a point that you brought up kind of made it click for me. I love talking. I love it a lot. You
guys don't understand. You don't understand the amount of hours. I'm kidding. I'm being excessive.
No, I really like talking. I feel like there's a difference in the way that I can talk to you guys versus the way I can talk to other people. Because, like, these are the people we met over Summer Bridge. I'll talk to them. And if I do, it's just, like, pleasantries. But with you guys, I can just, like, go about anything. About stuff that's, like, going on with my boyfriend or, like, my sister or, like, literally anyone else, anything else. And I don't feel bad about it. I do feel bad sometimes. I feel like I take up a lot of your time. But you guys don't make me feel bad about the fact that I talk a lot.
To move on to the third stage, which is the effective exchange stage, here is some vulnerabilities that comes into play. People start revealing much of their deeper feelings, struggles, and personal values. Their personal conversation builds emotional closeness, but they can also feel risky, like lowering your shield for a moment and hoping it's safe. Question number 4.
For this one, I kind of said it earlier, but I'm not great at distinguishing between what I should and shouldn't say. 'Cause
Yeah.
like it's like I'll say like the very basic stuff, like what's going on in my day,
Yeah.
you know, what's coming up for me and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then if we've been yapping for more like than an hour or something, I'll drop some shit and it's
Yeah.
like, oh okay.
Yeah.
It's like, do you reciprocate it, or you're like, okay, get away?
Yeah.
I'm not great at balancing.
Discerning of what
Yeah.
to say. Okay.
So it's kind of hard to really say like how I decide, because it's really just like
It's just on the situation, on the spot when you're
Yeah.
with this person.
school friend, an old high school friend.
Yeah.
And then we shoot a message every now and then, or maybe a friend that I made here, but you know, we've hung out a little bit outside of school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've last talk to each other, but you know, it's like
Meeting someone.
I would, yeah. I mean, of course, depending on the situation, because
Yeah.
if it is more like a social environment, then yeah, it'll probably be more like that.
Yeah.
But if it's more of like a professional setting, like if I'm talking to my coworkers and stuff like that,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still making those connections with them.
Yeah.
But it's just like obviously because we have a professional relationship with each other.
Yeah.
It's not to the same extent that I would with
A friend.
just a friend or even just a random person.
I see.
Just because that pre-made like coworker relationship exists.
I see.
I mean, despite being pretty open about who I am with people, I do find that I tend to avoid situations that would cause even just like minor disagreements. That always makes me very uncomfortable to be in conflict, whether it's severe to whether it's almost non-existent but still present. It makes me very uncomfortable. So I tend to usually kind of mirror what other people are doing to where like I said before, where you like shared something that you experienced that it really was like worrying you. And so it kind of signaled to me like, oh, I feel a lot more comfortable with this person and sharing similar experiences with them because I know that if they're being open with me, then I can be open back with them. So I usually take signals from another person first, just because I don't want to like immediately make someone uncomfortable or have someone immediately have a weird view of me. But I tend to be a little more, I'd say, honestly, open with strangers than I am people who I want to be friends with because I want to get along with them better. Whereas, like, a stranger, I feel like I don't really need to impress, you know?
Oh,
Like, I feel like
okay,
I can
yeah.
just kind of, like,
Say
say
whatever,
things
and then
about
like, what's the
myself.
risk of, because this person just barely known me. Rather
Exactly. I'm
than,
probably not going to see
like, I
this
have
person
history
ever
with this
again.
person, and it's like trying to maintain, I guess, like a grade. Like you have to, you're always on the spot, I guess.
Sort of. Yeah, I guess not so much a performance, I would say, but like you want to like appeal to them, you know, like for like I'm doing theater work right now, and so there's specific people that have hired me or like lighting people that I'm working with. And I usually kind of take signals from like especially like the things that they like to joke about and their type of humor. Some people are like more dry, some people are a little more goofy, and I connect with people by like doing these sort of offhand jokes or riffing and stuff like that. And so even like today, when I was doing my light hang today, um, the lighting designer is like a very silly, goofy guy, and I really like that about him. And so I immediately was like, okay, like I feel very comfortable doing silly little jokes and building off of the kind of little things he's saying. So it's like I can connect with him based off of how he kind of views humor and stuff like that, where it's still just kind of true to myself because I am like always waiting for a chance to kind of hop in with something funny. But I still find myself doing that based off of his sense of humor because he's someone that I want to impress. He's someone that I want to work with. So I want that impression to be good and I or to that person. Whereas like if it was just someone random that I met in like the line at a grocery store, you know, like I don't really have to appeal to their sense of humor, you know?
Oh, I need to.
Yeah, I would definitely bring back the card analogy. I would say, if you definitely know the other person's cards and they're not comfortable with sharing personal information, you shouldn't share it or you shouldn't ask for it.
Yeah.
You know, you should always gauge the comfortability of the person you want to be friends with. So even if it's like again like a classmate, you don't like say crazy things off the get-go. You don't share personal things off the get-go. You kind of want to gauge what the other person is feeling. And if they share a personal information, then if you want to, then you can. If you feel like you're inclined to engage that connection, then by all means go for it. Because you don't want to. I feel like I feel like everyone's been to the point where they feel like they overshare, and they kind of sitting back on it and be like, man, I wish I didn't say some of those things. Yeah. So I definitely feel like a conversation, especially with a newer person, it's definitely kind of like a battle. You know, you kind of have to you kind of have to adapt, and you have to use different phrasing, and you have to tell different stories to get to know someone. You don't want to send it
Scare
all
them off
yeah.
too quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what is it? Oh.
And especially more so this semester now that we have the same class.
Yeah.
And the class is much more interactive with people you want
Yes.
to talk to.
Yeah.
And especially because we get to sit next to each other for most of the class.
Yeah.
Even if we don't talk, we still experience the same
We're still in the
things.
proximity of each other's
yeah.
presence. Yeah.
And this is another gaming reference, and we've talked about this before, but like Stardew Valley, you know?
Yeah.
If you prepare the week, you know, like it's easy. Like once you play the game every day and you know what you want to do in the game, it's very easy. But the second you slip up or like you skip a day, like what was I supposed to do? And the schedule starts crumbling.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a friendship, you know, you have such a high friendship with someone. The second you kind of feel distance from them, it's like it's weird having to pick up again.
Yeah.
Because you forgot like where you
The
forgot,
flow, how
you
it
forgot
went.
the flow, yeah. Especially if there's other, I guess you could say games in proximity. Like if there's other friends that you've hung out with instead of that person, and they have different views on sharing information.
Yeah.
It's definitely like a bit like using personality A and friend group B, kind of that sort of thing. I feel like kind of juggling multiple friends who like have different views on sharing personal information.
Yeah.
Is quite difficult. But I guess to ultimately and finally answer the question and bring it back, yeah, you just kind of have to gauge how the other person feels in order to like share personal information. Like you said, ping pong, you give what you get.
Yeah.
To share with someone new versus what to keep private.
I mean, personally, I'm still working on like the tiers, you know, like of what to share with someone, because I am a chronic oversharer. I overshare a lot because my brain sometimes just goes to a random topic and I'll just start talking about it, especially if we're just in conversation talking about random topics. I will randomly just switch to a different one. So
Keep talking.
so
That thing. That's what I'm waiting for. That's why I have to see it. Okay, just keep talking.
Okay. Well, so basically, yeah, like, I'm still working on that, but whenever I meet someone completely new, I usually just, like, I keep them at a very big distance. Like, she said that, like, she's not very trusting of people, and recently I've noticed that I really, really don't trust people. Like, I always... Cause like, you know how every time I meet someone new, I'll like have something about them that I like either just like don't really like or just like it's a pet peeve of something, right? I notice that it's a common thing that I do with like a lot of people that I meet new, and that I feel like that's just my brain trying to deter me from becoming their friend, because it's like I don't trust that person. So don't talk to them because of so and so. It's just literally making up random shit to try and stop me from talking to them. So I was just like,
Oh, I forgot. I feel like I was talking about this with Koa yesterday. That's my boyfriend. I don't care about much of anything. It's like side effect from that little phase I went through. Most people, when I meet them, I'm just like super neutral about it, right? Everyone's a blank slate until they're not, right? So I'll meet someone, I'll try to get to know as much about them as humanly possible before deciding to share more about myself. So it'll just be pleasantries on pleasantries on pleasantries until I decide that you're safe in a way, and then I'll share stuff about myself.
That was a long down for sure, which will lead us into our next stage, which is boundaries. This connection to boundaries and self-disclosure, not everyone opens up at the same pace. So we all manage of how much of ourselves we reveal based on trust and timing. It's all about knowing when to peel back another layer and wait.
I definitely think there's times where holding back is better. And there's just kind of like going back to that situation I had mentioned before.
Yeah.
Which is like just being on both sides of a friend group
Yeah.
in a way that's like kind of torn apart. Like I know things that both people are saying, and it's like I'm hearing some pretty like nasty shit.
Yeah.
it's like, okay, how am I gonna approach this person now after knowing that kind of stuff,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? And so it's kind of like I could tell them like, oh, this guy said this thing about you, or this guy said that, but then it's like like what is that really gonna do, not only for me but just like the connection that I have
With the both of them.
yeah, because then it's like, I mean, they know that like I don't have like beef with them,
Yeah.
but it's just like that, like what are they gonna think about me, like you're still talking to this asshole, is like
Yeah. But also, like when you do that, it's not going to become one-sided. It's like, oh wait, you said that about them, and then another side's like, wait, I thought you're helping me. So now it gets confusing of like, what side do I pick? Now it's like, do I pick this side or this side?
yeah, when I don't want to pick sides because I see both of these guys as brothers that I've grown up with.
Yeah.
Right? I got this one friend that's like, that's not my problem. You
Yeah.
know, like I'm just gonna stay out of it. Please don't drag me into it because I don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But then for me, just because I have so much love in my heart. But no, seriously, it's just like because I care deeply about both of these people.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I understand that it doesn't directly include me, but the fact that we're tearing apart the entire group as a whole,
In effect, yeah.
it's rippling throughout, even through people that aren't even local.
Yeah.
As a part of the friend group, because we got tons of close people that live in Washington and Idaho,
Yeah.
right? But they're not like the San Jose group,
Yeah.
and so it's like
But then it gets to them though at some
it
point.
still hits them,
Oh wow.
and so it's like I mean, yeah, you could say that it's not my problem, but in a way, it's like I feel compelled to.
I feel responsible that I should help.
Yeah, because I love both of you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of nuance to it. It definitely depends on like what level of friendship you're at. Like for some reason, for example, my best friend and we have known each other since we were in preschool. We became friends at 4 years old. And I'm 26 now, so that's over 20 years of friendship there. So for someone like her, obviously, we both know each other more than anyone else in the world, more than family, more than any other friends. So for us, obviously, like, we are really strong because we know each other's life histories really well. And because we've known each other for so long, we know that we're comfortable sharing pretty much any aspect of our lives, to where for a friendship like this, holding back is a hindrance for us because we have that connection where like we've been friends for over 2 decades. Like honestly, if she killed somebody, I would still be her friend because she probably had a good reason. She's a kind person, like one of the kindest, sweetest girls I've ever known. And she's got such a pure heart that like if she did kill someone, I'd still be in full support of her. She probably had really good reasons and didn't want to have to do it. So for a friendship like that, holding back is a hindrance for us because we both understand that we can share anything with each other. And it's not very often that we have to hold stuff back. In fact, honestly, it's usually me that would find myself doing stuff like that, which is kind of odd, but I usually just need some time before I can share it with her, you know? It definitely depends on the person. There are some people where I've had like a coworker and like we carpooled a couple times, we talk a lot at work, but the more they kind of shared about their personal life, the more it kind of made me go like, whoa, no offense, but your life's kind of a mess and it's a little overwhelming. You know, like they would talk about like their relationship and stuff that was going on in it, and it was like, whoa. It was kind of a lot, like in a way where it's like I feel like maybe I shouldn't know all this information that you're telling me. So having that self-disclosure from them actually kind of made me push away a little bit. Just I think because both them and their relationship seemed like very overwhelming. Not like high conflict, but just like there's a lot of stuff there that like if I was in their position, it would be so draining and exhausting, to where when they disclose more stuff about themselves, it made me like them a little less, actually. but with someone like you, where there was more self-disclosure, I feel like the way you kind of present situations in your life where like like how much to say about a situation without giving all the unnecessary details or without being way too vague about it, you have kind of like a very nice in between balanced way of like being able to share stuff about yourself. So it's enough to feel like you're being vulnerable and that I can connect with you without feeling like the information that you're giving me is like, okay, this is kind of a lot and I feel like I shouldn't know all of this. So again, like I said, it's got nuance. It really depends on the person. It heavily depends on the way they self-disclose, I think, for me personally.
Absolutely. I feel like this is definitely one of those situations where it depends, you know? I feel like almost every situation on earth when it comes to communication it's a depends. It depends on something. I think that there's definitely times where you should show self-restraint.
Yeah.
Like let's say by the way, this is fake, but if I didn't like that shirt, for example,
Okay, shirt.
but like you rock it and you like wearing it, I'm not gonna tell you. Like maybe let me put it like a situation in your head. If you're like, if there's like someone you like, for example, and you feel like you want to impress them with your outfits or something,
Yeah.
I'd be like, maybe I can help you. What do they like to wear?
So when the situation calls for it.
Absolutely. That's why I said it depends on the situation. It depends on the person. It depends on how well you know the person. I would say more often than not, you should definitely like share information with the other person.
Yeah.
Because that's what friends are for, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like being a friend, like, that's the difference from being a friend and being a yes man.
Yeah.
You know, if I just,
Keep talking. I just got
yeah,
that.
I'll talk to the camera.
So.
if I just went along with whatever you said, Dre, then you might as well be just talking to a brick wall.
Yeah.
Because I'm just gonna be telling you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like a lot of people who are arrogant in themselves surround themselves with people. But I feel like it takes a certain level of maturity to surround yourself with people who will tell you when you're wrong or will tell you when you're doing something that they don't like. And I feel like if you're able to like cope with that, then I feel like your friendship will go even stronger.
Even stronger. Yeah.
So I think to overall, yes, I think sharing stuff, even if it might seem like vulnerable or uncomfortable, I think sharing stuff ultimately does help. But it depends on the person. But I think if that person's a good enough friend, they won't mind.
If you want to become really close friends, in my opinion, do not, like, you have to get to the point where you don't have to hold back on what you want to say. Like, you literally have to be able to say anything, and then your friends will be like, okay, yeah, that's cool, you know? But, like sometimes when your friendship is, like, developing, then obviously there will be times when, like, the other person they're not ready to hear about what you're gonna say because they haven't known you that well enough to like get to that phase, right? So
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
I think if you're friends with toxic people, then you probably shouldn't be friends with toxic people. You do need to learn to hold back with people like that. But if you're friends with people like these guys, and like she said, you can tell them anything, and you're like golden, great, creative, amazing, awesome. You know, you can. I trust this guy to drive me off a cliff and have me survive.
The fact that I trusted you to drive at 3 a.m.
Right? When we were coming back from
Yeah.
Berkeley? Yeah.
Not Berkeley.
Or Sac.
No.
Sacramento?
No. It was the VSA thing.
Yeah, though. Was that not in Sacramento?
No, that was Davis.
Oh no, I think we're just adding on to that topic.
Yeah, don't be friends with a-holes. Be nice.
And if you need someone to like check if they're like not a good person, I mean, like you just ask people, like other people, like be vague about it, being like, hey, there's this like person that I know. This is like kind of the like what's going on? Should I be able to trust them? Like, cause it's always good to get a third opinion, you know, like an outside party opinion. You don't have to know them as well, but like just know that they're an okay person to tell you the truth, you know. Just have someone like that. Friendship 101, guys.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
We are now in the fourth stage, which is now the stable exchange stage, where relationships reach full openness and mutual understanding. At this level, both people can completely be honest without wearing a mask, and no need to guess. But it also reminds us that not every relationship needs to be transparent. Sometimes a little bit of balance and boundaries can keep us connected. Well, I hope you got to know a little bit of what social penetration theory is. We use it in our day-to-day basis without even knowing. So, to recap, social penetration theory explains how relationships deepen through self-disclosure, from surface-level talk to genuine trust. It also applies beyond face-to-face interactions, helping us understand how people connect and share online. Overall, this theory highlights of how openness and timing shapes meaningful relationships. And that wraps up for this honors project. I just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch the entirety of this video. It took a long while to get everything set up and to just put this all together. So I really appreciate it. Again, if you like the content that I'm currently making, I have a lot more coming up soon. Hopefully you guys can know a little bit more about me and my story of how I got here, and as well as other hobbies that I do want to talk about. But yeah, guys, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.